I am Marasav, Queen of the Reef. I once made a great sacrifice to protect humanity from the Hive. I lost everything. My fleet. My brother. My people's very way of life. I watched the dreaming city fall into ruin. Desecrated by Oryx. Cursed by Savathun. Now I've returned to retake this sacred place, to finally wrest it free from the Hive's claws. Although you have taken things near and dear to me as well. You have also learned that your list of enemies need not be so broadly defined. Today we are afforded a unique opportunity. The road ahead of us is fraught with perilous choices, Guardian. Choose wisely.
Old friend, it is an honor to fly alongside you, though our mission is grim. Ikora issued an order for Osiris's arrest. She has questions about his involvement in Lakshmi's attack on the Elitsni. I volunteered to collect him from the Dreaming City, where he now hides. No one will touch Osiris until I know the truth. He has acted rashly in the past, but I have never seen him willingly endanger the city. Something is wrong. I have felt it for some time now. He is distant. Help me bring him home.
I am making way through the opposite flank from you. The Hive are swarming. We will be as the mighty crabs of old and pincer them. Break their lines and meet me at Osiris's signal. Geppetto says there's another ghost nearby. Lightbearer, reveal yourself.
That would be me.
What are you doing here, bird brother? Did Zavala not send you away?
Osiris called me for help. With all these Hive around, I can see why. This reeks of Zebu wrath.
He called you? No. Go home. This is not your fight to take. It is mine.
You can't keep him in a cage, Saint. You're not the only one who cares about him.
Lectures? You know nothing. Osiris is not himself, and I will be the one to bring him back.
Still fumbling around in the overworld, old light? There's an awoken device near you. It should let you slip into the Ascendant Plane and get you closer to Osiris.
Crow and I used them to hide from Ratborn.
Stalk. We were stalking, not hiding.
Taken portals, awoken dimensions. Fine. Go, Guardian. Take the crow's path.
The Ascendant Plane should skirt you past the Hive's barricades. Just be sure to mind the Taken. Word to the wise. Bringing down Quria left the Taken rattled. I don't think Savathun has control of them anymore.
No matter. My bullets do not know the difference. Guardian, many Taken signals falling on you.
A big Wrathborn headed your way too.
Be brave. Osiris is not far ahead. I am not far ahead of you, Guardian. We converge on Osiris' signal.
Then we'll see each other soon. Crow out.
Whatever happens, friend, we cannot lose him. Even if I do not understand, I must believe his actions have purpose.
I had hoped you'd find your way back.
I'm a bit lost, actually. But this feels familiar. Do I know you?
Osiris? You must come home. Answer for what you have done. The Vanguard will show mercy.
Yes. Ikora and Commander Zavala are nothing if not generous. Queen Mara. Look how they've welcomed the crow into their flock.
It isn't too late. You can still be forgiven.
Be careful. I'll hold you to it.
No! No! Where is Osiris?
Lower your weapons. Osiris still lives.
You trust this thing?
This thing and I have come to an agreement. You need only cooperate.
What is it?
I am Savathun, the Witch Queen, sister of shapes, deepest in the Hive Coven, etc., etc. My sister Zivor Wrath hunts me on behalf of another. I wish only to be free, and Mara Sav has graciously agreed to help.
And Osiris?
Sweet that you should care, little bird. I have been Osiris for as long as you have known him. But rest assured, I will return him safely to you, in exchange for your assistance.
Queen of lies! Pray this is the one time you are telling truth. The Vanguard must know what has happened here. Stay, Guardians. I will go.
Someone once told me that the line between light and dark is very thin. Walk it alongside me. For Osiris. This will guide you. A powerful relic of awoken design. Take it and return to your helm. Approach, Guardian. Believe me when I tell you that I did not know of Savathun's deception until she arrived in the Dreaming City. She offered me a bargain. If I exercise her worm, she will release Osiris and help us defeat the Black Fleet. I recognize the risk. Her inevitable betrayal is all but a guarantee. But without her worm, Savathun is vulnerable, unprotected by the security of her throne world. Mortal. To separate Savathun from the parasite inside her, I need Techians, skilled awoken mystics. Few still live. Most were lost, guiding my return to the Dreaming City when Zivu Araf ambushed us. But I can still feel their minds. The mystic compass you hold will reveal pathways to each lost Techian. Relight the pathways of the Ascendant Plane, and guide my people back to me. My wrath, Petravenge, will brief you further.
Queen Mara has already told you we must recover our lost Techians in order to free Savathun from her servitude to the Worm Gods. I will tell you how. Imagine the universe as a set of coins, stacked, one on top of the other. The top coin is our reality. The bottom, the Ascendant Plane. Between them lies an intermeshing of ever-shifting pathways, known as ley lines. Almost all the ancient pathways are now defunct, but beings of paracausal ability can navigate and rebuild them. This is the art of wayfinding. We know our lost Techians are stranded somewhere among the ley lines, and they're leaving us markers to follow. I'm forwarding you the coordinates to the first marker. It should tell us which ley line to look in. Then we'll use the blind well to tear open a rift and send you through to find them. Xivu Arath is desperate to capture her sister. Her forces, which now include the Taken, will attempt to stop you at every turn. Listen, I know your crow intends to accompany you. Mara also wants him close. Our Techians went to retrieve Queen Mara on my orders. This can't fail, not because of him.
Approach, Guardian. I have an awoken tale to tell you. One my brother recited to our people's children quite often. Long ago, great kestrels roamed the sky. They built ornate nests in the heavens like conquerors. But in their arrogance, they ignored whispers of storms on the wind. Until one day, one such storm swept over them. It collapsed the heavens, drowned their nests. So they fled, and the storm pursued them. Most died, but a fated few washed upon the shores of a great hollow oak. There, a mother kestrel guarded her clutch, 2 shells, bonded inseparably. A daughter, Riga, a son, Agar. Their hearts beat in unison. And they grew. Riga, intuitive and cunning. Agar, loyal but adventurous. Knowing they would one day wish to leave the hollow to face the storm, their mother plucked feathers from her plumage, and one from each child. For Riga, she crafted a crown to keen her mind, centered by Agar's luminous feather. For Agar, she crafted a scepter, cored by his sister's obsidian feather to guide his spirit. There is truth in this tale. The scepter and crown, they are real. One I already have. The other, you will retrieve for me. When you return, I will tell you the rest.
This construct protects me from those who wish me harm, from my worm's hunger. But it is a prison, too. Quite elegant, don't you think? I have only one regret, and that is how long it took me to reveal myself to you. I see your synapses firing. A specimen scarred by skepticism. They call me a liar. But we share mutual interests, you and I. If you believe anything I tell you, believe in that. Now, let me show you a different interpretation of the truth. Who is Savathun, you ask? You already know. Oh, guardian mine. I am your friend. I tried to protect you from the Black Fleet. You called it interference. Don't worry. I was not offended. Instead, I found a form more pleasing to your eyes. Osiris was lost, lightless. I saved him from Xivu Arath and assumed his shape so I could guide your victory against her. I ferried the reborn prince to your city so he could be redeemed. I protected Zavala from Kaido's ambitions, ending a war before it could even begin. I delivered the House of Light on its knees to Ikora. I unmasked the enemies lurking inside your city's walls and destroyed them. You may disagree with my methods, but you can't argue with results. I am no villain, and you are no hero. We are paracausal.
Titan, this is my fault. I invited her in. I convinced Zavala that we needed Osiris by our side. A dark pit looked back every time I met his eyes, and I told myself it was his grief. Savathun knew she could use that. The city is the last place Xivu Arath would have searched for her. Now, Saint is tearing the system apart, looking for the real Osiris. You and Crow will need to take point with the Awoken. I don't like it, but he wants to help, and he's earned some trust. It's his decision. We're in a downpour of revelation. I've been trying to analyze every drop of information, as if I could isolate them before they're washed away. There's so much I need to reevaluate, so much I need to do. Interrogate the Witch Queen while we have a captive audience. Our enemies often flirt with arrogance when they believe they've won. See if she'll let her true intentions slip.
This is the gatehouse. It leads to many places. The vault where I stowed the scepter is one of those places. The atlas skews you've collected serve as star charts of sorts, used to map and navigate ley lines back when they could be freely explored. Uldren had been searching for Ager's scepter for some time when he made these. Another daring venture to win my affections, against my better wishes. He often embedded travel logs into his skews. Here.
Sister, I wonder when the spies you have following me will find these. Do you still walk the old paths we made? Mother's old tales come to mind. I've been adding to my favorite, the twin kestrels whose hearts beat as one. You'll have to tell me what you think when I return with the scepter. Mother Kestrel watched perfect daughter Riga as she plotted the infinite paths of the Hollow, as if concocting a plan for each way it could grow. But with her son Ager, Mother instead held him tight beneath her wing in the Oak's Hollow. She pointed starward and whispered warnings of dangerous storms and cosmic sojourners that carved chaos in the sky. The beautiful depth of the dark spots caught his eye. His imagination was arrested by them. Ager struggled against his mother's wing, yearning to leap from the tallest branch and soar to see the storms for himself. But Mother Kestrel's talon caught him. She scolded him to never leave the canopy. She held him in crushing closeness and vowed not to show him the stars again. He grew to resent represent her protection?
If it is still unclear, the twin kestrels represent Uldren and myself. Their mother is Osana Sav. Uldren found Osana's prescriptions restrictive. I never considered her a mother myself, but her dreams of foresight interested me. We both saw calamity looming, Osana and I. In the distributary, where the Awoken were born, we were eternal. Osana would hide there forever rather than face the enemy. When we left to form the Reef, many chose to hide with her. You're done here. I'll send for you when more skews reveal themselves. I know you have reservations about my arrangement with Savathun. I feel it in your heart. For all her clever machinations, the Witch Queen did not anticipate your success in stopping Quria or the Endless Night. Her schemes unravel, and now she needs my protection from Zibu Arath, from the Worm Gods, from you. I have already learned much by observation. The Taken pursued her here. Taken she once controlled. Taken that now serve a new master. Or, if Savathun is to be believed, their original master. Not her brother, Oryx, but something far older. She fears it. It commands Zibu Arath to conquer the Ascendant space surrounding the Dreaming City. To use the Taken in her campaign against us. For now. Savathun claims that without the Taken, she cannot break the curse she placed on the Dreaming City. She thinks she can entice me with these half-truths and secret temptations. But she underestimates the lengths to which I will go to correct the past.
Which is why we establish guides, lanterns, beacons.
Geppetto tells me these are, nodes, and that they are connected.
Yes, by ley lines. They're like primordial currents you can navigate between worlds.
I see. Places share memories, have relationships. Just like us, they have seen so much.
Something like that.
I knew you'd be back. I'm so glad we get to talk. You and that charming little ghost of yours, you're not like the rest. You're not afraid of my words. Words are just thoughts given shape. Ideas emerging into the physical world, birthed by a mouth. Not good or evil, not light or dark, or this or that. And you understand, don't you? Despite the excruciatingly binary worldview of those around you. You don't have to say it. We've all heard it before. The line between light and dark is so very thin. As if you were incapable of lifting your eyes from a scroll of chalk on the ground. The traveler in the light near one foot, your old enemies and the darkness at the other. Let me tell you a secret. If you ever want to see what's been watching you since the very beginning, just stand on that line and look up.
The twin kestrels darted through the gaps between branches. The leaves formed verdant pathways. Predictably, Riga first, with Agar close behind. In those pathways they traded secrets. Secrets Riga whispered to the flock, hoping to push them beyond the hollow, beyond the forest. Most nights, Riga and Agar sat beneath the stars to dream. Twin hearts sounding a duet of beats. Like ours, Mara. still feel yours. Still distant. In this story, Agar fixated on the dark, clouded pox that marred the night above the canopy. He pointed to the starry spaces between them and asked his sister to name them. Riga never spoke a word. She already knew all their names and didn't want to crush his spirit. How charitable. One night, Agar grew impatient of her silence and pointed to one of the dark spots as it roared with thunder. "The storm is singing to us," said Agar. "We should sing back to show it we are not afraid." Riga wove her voice with his, and the thunder resounded. She did not sing with him again after that night. Rare to see stars in the Ascended Plane. I wish we were doing this together. Why hide the scepter if it weren't a test?
I understand Awoken history is not your strong suit, Titan. I will teach you. When the Awoken people came into being after the collapse, I was the first. As first, my chosen form defined what an Awoken could be. Thousands followed my example, willing themselves into existence within the distributary. Some, like Uldren, required help. His mind was like an unsteady fawn. No surprise he was unable to do it on his own. So I guided him, filled the gaps in his memory. I gave him a star to follow. He was bonded to me, and his devotion spiraled into pathetic recklessness. Even through death, he hasn't outgrown that dependency. I see it in him as he looks longingly to his ghost for answers. To you.
Osiris, I will not abandon you. As I speak these, guardians of the city patrol across the system searching for you. I am searching for you. No amount of hive spawn or Savathun's trickery will stand between us. You will see freedom. You will return. It is not your way to die. Wait for me, as I did for you. You have never practiced patience, but hold on a few moments more.
Saint?
Have the Hidden found him?
Saint, you don't have to broadcast these live.
I see. This is true.
Geppetto can establish a repeating signal. It will forward any response directly to you. Besides, I could use you in the field.
Yes. I am, if nothing else, useful.
More than that, you are needed.
I knew it was not him, but I would not listen to my heart.
Compassion can be abused. Optimism has its pitfalls. Flaws don't make them worthless. Even lies can be learned from.
Do not worry. I think I will not be using compassion next time Savathun stands before me.
No, I think we have a whole different set of emotions to deal with that moment. Osiris is out there. We will find him.
We Awoken were born of light and dark. Our perspective on the universe is a complex one. The light is not inherently good, as your warlords of the Dark Age so clearly demonstrated. In spite of Zavala's preconceptions, darkness is not inherently evil. Some among you already discovered this on Europa. In my travels, I have seen true evil. It is the worm gods that the Hive serve. It is the Black Fleet, waiting to strike. It is the entity that commands them all. The voice in the darkness. These creatures are not evil because they wield darkness. They are evil because, like Savathun and Zivu Araf, they are cruel, hateful things with no regard for the lives of others. Some might say that includes me as well. I will let history be the judge of my guilt. Before that judgment is cast, I will see my Techians returned. Perhaps with them I can save us all.
Never even met him.
I know. Just let me speak to Savathun, please.
No. I won't give that witch another chance to dig her claws into you.
Maybe she's right, Crow.
You know I am. Savathun is already in your head. You're a liability to the mission.
Why do you have such a problem with me, Petra? 5 minutes, that's all I'm asking.
The Queen of the Reef forbids it.
Well, I don't take commands from the Queen of the Reef.
Savathun unraveled the Dreaming City with a single wish. I've spent years trying to contain that mistake. Better men than you died because of it.
To my ear, it sounds like you're the liability. Maybe your queen's trust in you was misplaced. A knife against a hunter? I'd be more careful who you pick fights with.
Another step, and my Corsairs will have to prepare you a second grave.
Save it for the Hive, both of you. This isn't getting us anywhere. Thank you. We could all probably use a minute to cool off. Oh no.
Keep both eyes on that one.
You can't stop the inevitable. No one can. Though Petra Van seems perfectly willing to try. I've always sympathized with Crow, you know. All the kind words I shared with him as Osiris were sincere. I know what it's like to be an exile. To be hated for things outside of your control. It would be better for Crow if we talked. I want to explain why I did what I did. I want him to know that my affection is true, because the less he knows, the more vulnerable he is. Doomed to be strung along by false promises from supposed benefactors. But then again, I'm the one trapped in the crystal prison. What do I know?
Guardian. Venge thinks I'm vulnerable, and I'm supposed to just take a seat? Like I was the only one fooled by Savathun wearing Osiris's skin? You'd known him far longer than I thought I had, but I don't see her forbidding you from speaking to her. Because it's not about me. It's about who I was, isn't it? Every time the Vanguard tells me that things will get better, I thank them, as if it's a privilege not to be beaten to death. Our past lives aren't supposed to matter. I'm beginning to wonder why I'm the only Guardian being judged by mine. No more apologies. No more creeping around on eggshells. I deserve an audience with Savathun. I deserve to know how much of what she told me as Osiris was a lie. I deserve answers.
I don't need to be Marasov to see into your mind, Guardian. You think I'm making a mistake. You think I barred Crow out of pettiness. I won't say I didn't recommend it, but it was the Queen's order, for his own safety. I see Prince Uldren's arrogance in him, his desire to please. He's vulnerable. Uldren and your Crow are echoes of each other. Surely you can see that. They share kindred weaknesses. Savathun will exploit them again if we let her. But with Mara back, I can finally see the end approaching. It's been a long time coming. There are still Techians in need of your strength. I wish I could fill their place, but this must be how things are. I'm here if you need me.
Riga worried their song had attracted the storm's attention, and made plans for the flock to leave the hollow. She locked herself away to study. The separation pained Agar, like you know it does. Unable to bear the loneliness, Agar finally took to the sky. High above, the open air cradled him like star-cloth ribbonettes. He felt peace in the deafening rush of wind across his feathers. Once he found them a new home, Riga would love him as he loved her. She would offer him the scepter their mother had crafted for him. The scepter that Riga selfishly kept. But as he approached the forest's edge, night fell and thunder shook his heart. Agar saw a great storm building on the horizon. Had he the scepter, he could have fought. Instead, he listened, straining through the thunder for the faint, secondary beat of Riga's twin heart. Through lightning and chaos, he followed it home. Agar told Riga of the storm, the forest's edge, and the gleaming bulbs of starlight clashing overhead. She didn't scold him or tell Mother Kestrel. She listened and heard the possibility in his tale. Gratitude. Imagine that.
In another life, I'd have appointed Aldrin Dominion of the Reef's borderlands, to expand and connect the kingdom under my reign, Agar's scepter in hand. He would have used it to open doors and challenge foes best left alone. He was not unlike a guardian already, and he would have died before his time. Aldrin's fall was a predetermined point, so I hid the scepter away and gave him something safe to chase. He often strayed from that path. Each ascendant beacon you reawaken reclaims a road once lost to me, broadens my sight, but my realm still aches. Savathun has done so much to destroy everything my people worked for. She stole my brother from me, twisted his mind, and delivered him to his executioners. Then she had the audacity to steal him from the Traveler, manipulate him, and lead him back home. It is strange, having him here. And yet not. Fro is a wounded bird, flinching away from me, so much like Aldrin, but lost without a guiding hand. Do you understand why I forbade him from speaking with Savathun? This reunion is such cruel kindness. I will find a way to repay her for it. And you will continue to bring me the Techians I need to do so. A defensive ward has been engaged over the scepter. It is a failsafe to keep it protected. Either my brother found this place without my knowledge and set it off, or the ward was engaged when the surrounding architecture suffered structural damage. There is a bypass. It is code, kept secret, in that it has been scattered across dozens of terminals throughout the Awoken territory. Fret not, you don't have to collect them. I will have the pieces consolidated and reformed. While you wait, you needn't stand idle like a lost child. Return to me. My borders are threatened. So you wish to hear the rest of my brother's story? Fine. I will oblige you. When the storm came, Riga and Agar rode the winds to meet it. A fleet of talons at their back. A great battle ensued. The storm took, as was its nature. Many fell, Agar among them. Riga could only watch as he tumbled down, 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 until her heart beat alone. She dove into the storm, giving herself to destroy it. Riga's spirit ascended higher into the sky, where she hoped to reunite with her brother. Instead, she met the thing that sent the storm. A bottomless well of grief, unreachable by reasoning or bargaining or violence. A voice in the darkness. And so, Riga gathered her feathers into an aegis of wings to shield the world below. But over the years, feathers broke away. Futility wore thin her resolve. Then, one day, her heart began to beat as it once had. Doubled, distant, but different. A beautiful echo. Hope called her home. And though she prayed to find Agar there, he never returned. I still feel Uldren's heartbeat somewhere out there. When your crow first stood in my halls, I saw an ember of my Uldren burning in his breast. Curiosity, and a sibling fondness, told me I could stoke that ember. I hope it is not a lie. I hope he is more than the last ebb of hot ash from a long dead flame. Many of his faults were not of his own making. Uldren's decisions were his, of course, but driven by whips in the hands of others. Myself included. I will have to offer him more than an old story of an empty promise if I wish to see that ember burn again. This is the path I led Uldren down. If certain actors had kept to their roles, I would have wielded Uldren Salve, Light-Bearer. But even Mara Salve cannot control everyone. I celebrate his resurrection in the light. But I detest seeing my brother rewritten, his greater self sloughed away and swept into the cellar. There is still good to draw from who he was. Don't squander it. He needs a star to guide him. Uldren or Crow, they are the same in that regard. Agar's scepter is yours, then. Both its burden and the freedom it can provide. Be careful with it, Guardian. He is prone to devotion.
I've been thinking about family quite a bit. What with all the spare time I have. It might surprise you to hear, but everything my siblings and I have done has been for each other. Even though the Vanguard isn't quite the same, they're no different at heart. You do anything for your family, chosen or otherwise. Go to any lengths to avenge them. Look at the Crow and Queen Mara. Siblings, bonded by cosmic fate, forever orbiting one another like binary stars. Mara reminds me of my sister. She's afraid, holding on so tightly because she can't bear to lose one more thing. But we all have to let go. When I am separated from my worm, I'll be separated from Xivu Arath too. And then my sister will be alone. The last of us. But as much as I care for her, I cannot stay like this.
Hidden been privy to Uldren's resurrection?
Long enough to watch over him in your absence.
And you didn't direct him home. Why?
There was a concern he'd pick up some old habits.
You know the god made him sick. Riven twisted his mind. Eris would have seen it. She is not so easily deceived by skin-deep tricks.
It's true I made mistakes. Out of an idea of justice. Out of grief. Are you leveling this same scrutiny toward Petra? Wasn't she supposed to be watching his grave?
Petra has paid her dues. The Vanguard murdered him and has yet to pay theirs.
We both lost family. I'm sorry for my part in yours, but Crow has been treated.
My brother is dead. He was exhumed, his body twisted into caricature. You had your vengeance.
Is that what you're after? Cade, I still feel that grief like a stone caught in my chest. Some days it's more pronounced than others. Vengeance didn't erode that grief.
Then tell me, who am I to blame? Who sent him into Savathun's clutches? Who bludgeoned Uldren into a scared animal and drove him from his home?
You did, Mara. And those guardians who hurt him did so out of misguided anger. Don't make their same mistake. Don't make my mistake.
When this is over, I wonder if Mara will uphold her end of the bargain and let me live. Killing me is probably at the top of your to-do list as well, isn't it? You've done a lot of killing over the years. Let me ask you something. Of all the enemies you've fought, how many saw your ghost and realized, that's why Guardians are so strong? Not most, but some. They might have even taken a shot at it. R.I.P. Cade. Now, how many saw beyond your ghost? How many followed the line of your light straight back to the Traveler? And how many knew enough to aim a weapon there? A few. The smart ones, the dangerous ones. You'd recognize their names. Listen to me now. Look beyond me to my worm. Look beyond my worm to something far, far worse. Then look down at that little gun in your hand and tell me, what do you think you're going to do with that thing?
To do is wait for the ley lines to fall into position. Then we may exercise Savathun's worm and reclaim Osiris. She divulges more to you than I, Guardian, though it can be difficult to separate poisonous words from the honeyed ones. I worry that the crow is especially susceptible. I feel the desire for approval in him, as I felt it in Uldren, and he idolized Osiris, almost as much as he idolizes you. Do not forget what has been asked of you. Until the ritual is ready, continue charting ley line passages. We are so close to bringing the last of my lost Techians home.
Petra, it's Ikora Ray. I thought now would be a good time to check in.
Things are progressing as well as can be expected, given the circumstances. While we've recovered some of the lost Techians, we still don't have everyone we need to separate Savathun from her worm.
Understood. Don't rush this on my account. Savathun may be waiting for the freedom she thinks is coming, but frankly, I don't care what she wants. This needs to be done with as minimal risk to your people as possible.
I know you hope that this will lead you to Osiris, but you want my opinion? Osiris is already dead. Savathun is a creature of lies. She has no honor.
Your opinion is noted. And on the subject of opinions, how's Crow?
You want my take? On him? In a word, vulnerable. But Queen Mara refuses to send him away. Though, you could.
Trust is a delicate thing, Petra. I don't want to lose his. This is important to him. I trust Crow to make the right choices, and for you to protect him from himself if he doesn't.
kind to me. I thought you were my friend.
Am I not?
You lied to me!
I helped you break Zivu Aras' hold on the shore, brought you to the last city, offered you guidance.
Stop.
If that's what you want.
I want the truth.
I was kind to you because I wanted to be. Because the truth hurts. You know this better than anyone. Shrinking away from the rumors of the man you used to be.
I'm not him.
How can you say that when you don't even know who he is? If the truth is what you really want, then lay your hand on me.
Crow, don't. Please.
See? Even your ghost thinks you're better off in the dark.
Crow,
Don't. Don't come any closer.
what did you show him?
Everything.
No, wait! You hurt him.
Someone had to. Better for it to have come from a friend. Don't give me that look. I told you that you can't stop the inevitable. Deep down, Crow wanted to know. He was going to find out one way or another, guardian taboos or no. You should thank me. Just imagine if it had come from someone with bad intentions. Someone who could have colored the truth about how he died to turn him against you. Against the Traveler. But I would never do such a thing. I see too much of myself in him. We were both looking for our purpose. Now that the Crow has found his as a guardian, he can see it for what it truly is. A second chance. Something to reflect on. If people didn't want him to know, was it to protect Crow from himself? Or was it to protect themselves from Crow? I do so enjoy our talks.
You ready to... Aldrin Sav, awoken prince, brother to the queen, murderer. Now I know the man I was. And you. I'm sorry. You did what you had to do. I don't think I would have told me either. Savathun's visions were like a waking dream. I could feel the heat of the flames, taste the blood in my mouth. I saw everything he did through his eyes. You're afraid of who I used to be, that he'll come back somehow. I am too. So I've asked Ikora to put me on another assignment. One where I can be somewhere I know my choices are my own. Tell Mara. Tell her whatever you want. I'll see you again when I'm ready.
I've been keeping tabs on you. Your victories against my sister. The mess you've made of the Ascendant Plane while you rescued your third-string witches. Delightful to see so many working towards a common goal, isn't it? I'm glad I can again be the catalyst that brings humanity and the reef together. It's a pity Mara Sav doesn't see it that way. Her face is a perfect porcelain mask. But look behind her eyes, and you can see the incandescent rage burning within. She's very upset with me. This will be our last talk until the day of the ritual, O Guardian Mine. Now that Marasav's coven is assembled, the only thing left to do is to keep Xivu Arath from ruining things while the ley lines fall into position. This may take some time, but I have waited millennia to be free. I can hold out for just a little bit longer. Farewell. For now.
Petra? Miss Venge? Can you hear me?
What do you need?
Well, do you know, what Savathun showed Crow? You won't tell me?
The truth, I imagine. Or perhaps some shade of it. My queen is furious.
Oh. I'm sorry. For a lot of things, but mostly for Crow. Being Crow.
It's not your fault.
I could have told him.
So could I.
It's not the same.
No. I suppose it isn't.
How long did it take Mara to forgive you? For what happened to him?
To Aldrin? Be patient, little light. He'll come around.
How do you know?
Because Aldrin was always a fool for love. And your crow loves you.
The time is at hand. The beacons shine bright and the ley lines are set in place. My Techians are prepared to perform the ritual that will separate Savathun from her worm. Although she claims she will help us in our fight against the Black Fleet and the entity that commands it, she cannot be trusted. You have coaxed enough information from her for my purposes. I will do what must be done. But know that Xivu Arath won't let her sister, or her sister's worm, go without a fight. I call on you once more, Guardian. Your knack for violence is needed. Make your final preparations and head to the Dreaming City. We will see you when you arrive.
Network. That's the first beacon activated. 2 more to go. The ley lines are conjoining. 1 beacon to go. Lines thrum with energy. All is in readiness. Assemble in my spire for the ritual. Look to the sky, Guardian. Hear the worm gods roar. After millennia of insatiable destruction, they are powerless against my retribution. This is Xivu Arath's last chance to capture Savathun. She's dispatching all local forces to the Spire. Use the teleporters to join us as soon as you can. Corsairs to me! Fall back to the entrance. Hold this line to the last soldier. For the reef! Guardian, with the ley lines activated, Xivu Arath's forces are pouring in from the Ascendant Plane. We're being overrun. Break through the hive lines. Reinforcements have arrived. Rally, Reefborn! Death to the hive! Guardian, commune with us. The ritual is about to begin.
Doubt is a useful tool, but double-edged. Do not let it lead you astray.
Ugh!
Leave him be, and keep to your promises, or I'll let him drag you into Xivu Arath's waiting jaws.
And then she would swallow you as well. Why must we threaten each other?
I am merely clarifying my intent. It is time. Yelaya, Sajari, Austin, and Savathun. We are sisters of circumstance, bonded by fate. Open those bonds to each other. Become one. Expel the parasite from our collective. This moment is simply the strike of a match. The fires we light here will burn long after. Be ready.
Large concentrations of Xivu Arath's forces are closing in on our position. Protect the queens.
None shall enter!
Xivu Arath's forces are converging on your position. Defend Queen Mara and the Techians until the ritual is complete.
feel my sister bearing down on you.
Your family is tenacious, if nothing else.
No more than yours.
My brother spent years suffering punishment for the path you made him walk. Finally, justice finds its mark. Let this be the end of it. No.
Thank you.
Fickle things. Two can view the same events and predict entirely different outcomes. I was outmaneuvered, and Savathun slipped through my fingers. I was sure that this path, these actions were absolute. But change is a prolonged effort. It requires application of steady pressure. There will always be backslides. Do not lose the summit in the climb. After Saint 14 returned Osiris to your tower, my Techians verified his identity. Savathun upheld her end of the bargain. And she did not escape unscathed. Her worm is mine. It will grant many insights, I am sure. The curse on the dreaming city can yet be broken. Go home, Guardian. Prepare for what is inevitably to come.
Congo. Osiris lives. Thank you, friend. Savathun tried to bury him, to use him like currency for bargaining. She wore his face and spoke with his voice, but they were not his words. I did not believe the Witch Queen would hold to her promise. I thought I would never see him again. He is lost in sleep. Without the light, it is difficult to know if he will recover. But he is safe. I need time, Guardian. I will see to Osiris's care. When he awakens, I want my face to be the first he sees. Perhaps I will joke that now we are even. Savathun has many enemies, but she has never faced Saint 14. We will find her, and this time, it is her who will be buried.
The Techians believe she enacted a contingency spell the moment the crystal shattered. She transposed herself with another subject marked with a matching hive rune. Osiris.
Is he alive?
He is. Very weak, but alive. The Techians have confirmed his identity. It's Osiris. No tricks.
Do you have any idea where Savathun is now?
We do not. She could be anywhere. If it's any consolation, we do have one thing.
What's that?
We have Osiris. In a way, Savathun kept her word. To the letter.
I'll be sure to send her my thanks.